Mr. President.
The Republican leader is recognized.
Mr. President, yesterday, 2 Democratic senators confirmed they will not provide the votes to eliminate the legislative filibuster. Senior senator from West Virginia issued a public, quote, guarantee, end quote, I do not support doing away with the filibuster under any condition, end quote. Any chance of changing his mind? Quote, none whatsoever. The senior senator from Arizona made the same commitment. She opposes ending the legislative filibuster and, quote, is not open to changing her mind, end quote. Our colleague informed me directly last night that under no circumstances would she reverse course. Now, it should not be news that a few members of the majority pledge they won't tear up a central rule. But the Democratic leader was reluctant to repeat the step I took as majority leader in unified government when I ruled out that step on principle. Rather than relying on the Democratic leader, I took the discussion directly to his members. Basic arithmetic now ensures that there are not enough votes to break the rule. This victory will let us move forward with a 50-50 power-sharing agreement containing all the elements of the 2001 model because it will sit on the very same foundation. I want to discuss the precipice from which the Senate has stepped back. In 2013, Senator Harry Reid, began the nuclear exchange over nominations. I said Democrats would regret it. A few years later, we have many federal judges, including 3 Supreme Court justices, who were confirmed with fewer than 60 votes. The back and forth exchange over nominations had one institutional silver lining. Because routinely filibustering nominations was itself a modern invention pioneered by Senate Democrats in the 2000s. So on nominations, for all the fighting, the Senate just simply circled back to the simple majority threshold that had been our long-standing norm on nominations, that is, on the executive calendar. Legislation is very different. When it comes to lawmaking, the framers' vision and our history are abundantly clear. The Senate exists to require deliberation and cooperation. James Madison said the Senate's job was to provide a complicated check, he said, against improper acts of legislation. We ensure that laws earn enough buy-in to receive the lasting consent of the governed. We stop bad ideas, improve good ideas, and keep laws from swinging wildly with every election. Our friend Lamar Alexander put it this way in his farewell speech. He said, the Senate exists to produce broad agreements on controversial issues that become laws most of us have voted for and that a diverse country will accept. More than any other feature, it is the Senate's 60-vote threshold to end debate on legislation that achieves this. It ensures narrow interests cannot ignore the rest of the country. It embodies Jefferson's maxim that great innovation should not be forced on slender majorities. The bar for lawmaking is high. It should be high, even if both bodies take turns being slightly frustrated by it. If your legislation can't pass the Senate, you don't scrap the rules or lower the standards. You improve your idea and take your case to the people, or both. 4 years ago, Republicans had just one unified control. President Trump and others pressured us heavily, me in particular, to scrap this rule when it was protecting the Democratic minority. But we stood firm. I stood firm, endured many tweets on the subject. I said we would not do that to our colleagues in the minority. No short-term policy win justifies destroying the Senate as we know it, especially since laws would become so brittle and reversible. So Democratic senators used the 60-vote threshold to shape and block legislation. They stalled COVID relief. They blocked police reform. They stopped even modest measures to protect innocent life. Because I chose not to destroy the tool that allowed them to do that. That same tool that some Democrats now want to destroy, they used freely and liberally throughout their years in the minority, and I protected their ability to do that. Republicans understand you don't destroy the Senate for fleeting advantage. Our friends across the aisle must see the same. I've talked a lot about